Hello and welcome to SolarQuotes Vodcast episode 29. Today Ronald and I will be covering the Tesla price drop in South Australia, the Victorian rebate fiasco. We thought it might be fixed, it isn't.
Hopefully better than it was. Should be better than it was.
We will talk about the Canberra battery subsidy.
Yes.
We will talk about best and worst reviews of the week.
Yes.
And we will also cover Jäger solar panels.
Jäger solar panels.
So I got in at 1 a.m. this morning.
Oh, what were you doing all night? Working hard, I presume.
I was having a drink with a guy called Jack Longy Long, founder of Solar Cutters.
Yes.
So that was very interesting.
And you were talking about business. I'm sure that's work.
All the drinks were tax deductible, surely.
Oh, definitely.
Surely.
Put that down on your tax return, I'm sure.
Now, when I woke up this morning, I had messages from ABC journalists on my phone.
Yep.
Because this news happened overnight.
Oh, yeah.
Tesla cuts home battery price in South Australia by more than $2,000.
Yeah, but ignore that and just look at that. You can have it for just $3,500. But wait, there's still more.
Plus installation.
Oh, plus installation. And is there still more? Any conditions, provisos, caveats, or exceptions?
Well, yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? Because in October last year, so 11 months ago, they raised the price of the Powerwall by $2,750.
That's a big increase, yes.
Then in
just before the subsidies in South Australia kicked in. Funny.
Yes. Then they lowered them by $650 in July, just gone. And now they're lowering them by another $2,000 just in South Australia.
Yes.
So don't get too excited, non-South Australians, sorry. But isn't that called false discounting, where you raise the price and then lower it and claim you're getting an amazing deal?
Oh, well, according to the ACC guidelines, it's all depends on what you mean by a reasonable time frame.
Right, 11 months, who knows?
Well, I would have waited at least 12 months if I were them.
It's a bit disingenuous.
Yeah. But let's not quibble about that. The good news is they've lowered it, or is it a trick?
They have lowered it if you join the Energy Locals / Tesla Virtual Power Plant VPP.
Oh, so they haven't lowered it. It's only for people who join this VPP. So this is,
I believe so,
wrong. It's misleading.
I don't like the way they've gone about it. I think the way they're justifying it in terms of payback is downright
Wrong?
Yes,
that's a good way to put it.
They're claiming a 5-year payback.
Yeah, no.
So I spoke to an installer this morning. He said you're not going to get it fully installed for a total price of less than $7,000, and that's a simple install.
Yeah.
Tesla are claiming that's going to pay for itself in 5 years.
How's that possible? You've got one.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
So I asked Chris, the journalist, where he'd got the information from. He sent me the link, which we'll put in the notes, to Tesla's conditions of the VPP. They're comparing the deal you get on a specific Energy Locals electricity tariff with this deal, and they're comparing the usage rates with the default market offer. Default market offer in every state is a complete bloody rip-off.
Yes.
You'd have to have rocks in your head to be on that. So they're comparing it with the absolute worst tariffs.
Yes.
You look at the rates that they're offering, they are 0.5 cent better than Energy Locals' normal rates for the first 10 kilowatt hours a day, and then about 2 cents better for the rest. The feed-in tariff is much, much worse. If you don't have the VPP, you get 15.5 cents from Energy Locals. You get 10 cents feed-in if you're with Energy Locals. So you're going to lose money from that.
Yep.
The one thing that's good is there's no daily charge with the VPP offer, compared to 68-ish cents a day without the VPP. Interestingly, Tesla say you'll save $300 by not having any standing charges, but if you multiply the number plus GST by 365, it's actually $256. So they've rounded it up to the nearest 100.
Yeah, you don't do that extra. That's bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
So I hate the way they're selling it. I think it's misleading. I think the South Australian government are jumping in on the misleading stuff because their damp squib of a battery subsidy needs a kick up the arse. But having said that, if you want a Tesla Powerwall 2 and you're happy with about a 10-year payback, which many people are, it's actually a really good deal.
Yes, but
and a good battery.
Don't expect a 10-year payback only if the conditions are right. Got to do your sums first.
So that's the news in Adelaide this morning.
Yep.
Friday, September the 6th.
Bye. But wait, there's still more.
There's still more. I went on the radio, ABC Adelaide, this morning to talk about this. They tried to get Dan Van Holst, the energy minister, on.
Ah, did he come?
No.
Oh.
I said if you do speak to his office, just warn him that I will ask him to justify the 5-year payback.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he didn't come on. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's just probably a busy man, you know.
Anyway.
He's got many ceiling cobwebs to remove.
Yep. So you want a Powerwall 2 in South Australia. This is as cheap as it's going to be for a long time, I think, because you're essentially getting $8,000 off compared to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Still marginal payback. That's that. Should we go to Victoria?
Oh, yeah. Fun and games in Victoria. So did they unship the Victorian solar home scheme?
So as everyone probably knows, on Monday they were due to release 6,500 rebates.
Yep.
Within about 5 minutes when they switched on the servers, this happened. Blue screen of death, or equivalent. Servers crashed, bugger all rebates. Got arranged. So they rebooted it for Thursday, which was yesterday. Take 2.
How long did it operate for?
They got through 6,500 rebates in 38 minutes.
Oh, that didn't last long.
What's going on there?
People want solar and they couldn't get it in the past because of a massive screw-up. They're all piled in to get it now, and in 2 weeks' time, when they'll allow another lot to be available, they'll be snapped up too. So, yes, this is going to cause problems, at least on the bright side. Hopefully, there'll be enough work available for all good installers in Victoria to stay in business. And we won't see many more driven out of business by a scheme that's meant to help the solar industry. But we'll see.
So it's a little bit better than it was. Last week I said hopefully it will satisfy the pent-up demand, but if it doesn't, the problem is that Solar Victoria and the Victorian government have shown that they're not interested in tweaking the scheme based on real-world results, which is how you operate in the real world. You have a theory, you try it, not quite there, so you modify it. Solar Victoria are carrying on like it's a great success. This is a tweet from them. Solar panel rebates fully subscribed for this release. I guess as far as they're concerned, the server didn't crash, so they're happy.
And that means if things are being snapped up that quickly, it means they've done it wrong.
Yes.
There's no comprehension there. Why? They shouldn't be a cap in the first place. I can design a better scheme than they did. I don't know. Did they kill all the sensible public servants in Victoria, or they're just not listening to them anymore?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine as how these people's minds work.
They probably one budget cut too far and the last sensible person left. I don't know.
But imagine you're a solar installer in Victoria. You've lost control of your sales cycle.
Yep.
Which means you can't control. If someone comes to you and says, I want to buy solar, there's a 90% chance, because 90% of people are eligible, that they want the rebate. You are not allowed to even take a deposit from them without having permission from the Victorian government.
Yeah.
And you get permission from the Victorian government by queuing up at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning or whenever it is, and hoping against hope that you're going to get these rebates, which are harder to get than bloody Beatles reunited concert tickets.
Yeah, and it's going to be impossible for people like my parents. So, you got pensioners, fixed income, not a lot of money, they benefit a lot from solar. They can't internet. My parents can't. Maybe they're thicker than your parents, but, the people who would benefit most and in most need of it aren't going to be able to access this scheme.
Yeah. So why is demand so high? I was thinking about this, and it's kind of obvious in hindsight. Why is demand just getting... Because the rate of uptake is, the speed at which the rebates are going, the rate is increasing and increasing. And it's kind of obvious because this gets more publicity, and the news stories are saying there's a massive demand for these things. People are thinking, what am I missing out on?
Yep.
They're also thinking, I've got to get in even quicker this time. So they're just ratcheting and ratcheting and ratcheting up demand. I think there was, 2 million households in Victoria, something like that? 2 or 3 million. I think it's 2. I think I looked it up last night. It was 1 a.m, so my brain was a bit. I think about 60% of those, let's call it 500,000. So say there's 1 million owner-occupied households.
Yep.
Say 200,000 of those would have solar already. Then 90% of those are eligible. So call it 700,000. There's potentially a pent-up demand of 700,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's a pent-up demand because if you own your roof, you're considering solar, because without the subsidy, it's a 3.5-year payback.
Yeah.
And so this is just $2,200 of free money.
5 years in Victoria.
Right, 5 years.
That's an excellent payback.
Yeah,
A lot better than stock
I'm
market.
too used to
or
living
anything.
in South Australia.
Yeah.
But they're seeing it as free money because it's something they were going to buy anyway.
Yeah.
And so everyone's cottoned onto this now, and the demand is, they've unleashed a monster. The high-level design of the scheme is absolutely fucked.
Yep.
It's all dead money, everything they've invested in it, but politicians don't get the concept of dead money. They think we've invested so much credibility and money in it, it's just going to go on for the next 10 years. And I've been told that Solar Victoria are not interested in any more changes, which is insane.
No, that's insane. I mean, what is so difficult about saying, I was wrong, I made a mistake, but I will fix it? That's how you tell who a good installer is. If they make a mistake, which sometimes happens, they go in and they fix it. They make things right for their customer. The politicians are our servants. We're their customers. They should make things right for us. But I think they're acting like an aristocracy. Thank God they don't have this problem overseas. Oh, okay, maybe they do.
What's going on here, Ronald?
Oh, in case you don't know, President Trump is now president of the United States. It wasn't a joke. He actually is. And Trump said, hey, there's a hurricane coming and Alabama's in danger. It's not. The hurricane's not going near Alabama. But rather than, saying, oops, I made a mistake, he got his Sharpie. Someone got a Sharpie and drew a bubble on a weather map so that it covered Alabama or part of it. It's insane. He's faking a weather report because he couldn't say, I misspoke. I meant Atlanta or something. But no, it's insane. But this is the logical endpoint of having politicians who can't admit they made a mistake. It's
the equivalent
insanity.
of Lily D'Ambrosio saying she's made the solar industry better.
Yep, that's right.
She objectively hasn't.
Don't turn Australia into Trumpland. Stop. You're making Australia a worse place, okay?
Here's a blog post you wrote.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
The headline's wrong, Ronald.
No, it's not. Okay. It's up to $24,450 for businesses, because that's without GST. So you've got to whack on an extra couple thousand. So
Ronald forgot about the GST.
Oh, shush. 26,900 with GST for a household. But how the hell are you going to fit the 30 kilowatts of power in battery form? How are you going to get batteries that can give 30 kilowatts of power in a home? I mean, you can do it, but that's going to be very expensive. I don't even recommend trying as a hobby.
So you weren't impressed with the high-level design of this scheme?
Well, okay. No, I don't get it. Why are you subsidizing batteries now when they're not an environmental benefit? They're coming down rapidly in price. Electric cars are much more likely to reduce emissions at this point in time, so maybe you should be thinking about subsidizing them. But no, we're getting subsidies for batteries which will only, I think, will only likely benefit some businesses, because there are businesses which can definitely benefit from installing batteries, and some pretty well-off people who can afford to buy a battery system which won't save them money.
Yeah, but it's all about the VPPs, isn't it?
Well,
the VPPs are useful to the grid.
Yeah, well, why don't you develop a VPP and then, subsidize the money, or make it just clear this is just a VPP thing?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
But I have another little problem. It's only available from free installers. Now, these installers all do good work. There's nothing wrong with these people, but that's just the wrong way to design things. I'm a little defensive about this because we've had so many problems with CEC approved retailers only being able to give the Victorian homes rebate, and it's not a good way to run things. It's bad for capitalism. You think, despite looking like Marx, actually, I think capitalism is okay, but it can only survive if you don't give capitalism what it wants. It's like children. If you want your children to stay alive, you don't give them what they want. Daddy, can I have a dirt bike? No. But I want one. Well, get a job, make some money, and buy your own. And then they do.
So the fact that they only allow 3 companies to participate, you're saying, is not going to be good for the competition, and it's going to artificially keep the prices high.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, moving on. Now, this is an
on.
interesting one.
Oh,
So, written by Richard. Tales from the Customer Frontline, how Rocco, who is a homeowner who just got solar, was burned by feed-in tariff hot water rules and won. So what happened here was Rocco, who is in the United Energy network area,
the guys who distribute electricity locally,
he got a solar system, and he already had hot water on an off-peak tariff. And once his solar system was installed, his electricity retailer was AGL, and they said, shit, you can't have a feed-in tariff and off-peak hot water. Which one do you want? And he said, I'll have both, thanks.
Yeah.
And they said, nah, sorry, our hands are tied. United Energy, who we get the electricity from their network, say you can't have both, you choose. So good old Rocco, he didn't stand for that. He went to the Energy Ombudsman.
Yep.
The Energy Ombudsman forced AGL to find a solution.
Yep.
The solution AGL found was to install free of charge a thing called a catch power, which uses excess solar to heat his hot water, which is not a bad compromise.
Oh, neat little device.
So good on Rocco for doing that. But then once we published this post, it turns out United Energy got hold of us and said, if AGL had asked, we would have told them that there is a plan that they can go on that will allow Rocco to have off-peak hot water under feed-in tariff.
Yes.
So it's just a complete mess.
Yeah. You know that the rules and regulations originally stated that you can't discriminate between customers who have solar and customers who don't.
Yeah, right.
Rock solid in the rules, completely written down. I tried to look it up recently. They deleted it, bastards.
Yeah, funny that.
But we still protect our consumer law, etc. So.
But this is very common. The electricity retailer, the company that's selling you the electricity, often don't know the rules properly themselves. We see that all the time. And the call centers often give just plain wrong advice. So double check everything the retailers tell you. And don't be afraid to take them to the Ombudsman.
Yes.
Amerisolar panels. These are very cheap panels. I was offered them last year without soliciting a quote. I was walking past the stand. 22 cents a watt.
Okay, that's incredibly cheap.
I didn't ask them if that's US, but because I was in Australia, I'm assuming that was Australian cents.
Yeah, because I can buy even no-name panels cost 25 cents in Shanghai.
Yeah, right.
Per watt. Yes. So,
but these are some of the cheapest panels you can buy in Australia. They've already been delisted once. They've been delisted again. My advice to any consumer would be avoid these panels.
Yes, at the moment, you can't get RECs for them. No reputable
STCs.
installer. What did I say? REC. Oh, technically correct. Renewable energy certificates. Yeah, STCs. So yes, avoid.
Well, I mean, you can't install them at the moment anyway until they're relisted.
Well, that's what I mean. No reputable installer would install them. No nutty one would either. You need a totally insane one. I have no idea what quality they are, but yeah, avoid.
Thank you to the CEC for playing police cop on panel quality. It's important. Let's go to worst review of the week.
Oh no, how's that?
We are totally appalled in the operation and service Arise Solar have provided.
Oh no.
The installers had the connection polarity reversed.
Oh.
Ouch. And was lucky not to have burnt the residents down. This is what the reviewer is saying. This is his words, even though I'm reading them. The amount of times the installation was to take place, brackets 4 times, before it actually happened. I had to take 4 days off work for it to be eventually installed. Then the control box was defective, and I had to run around to collect the new box and have this delivered to the installer for the 5th time. That shouldn't be your job as a homeowner. Overall, I would not recommend this company to anyone wishing to have solar installed.
Yeah.
So that is a customer review. And if that's what happened, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Should we go into a good review?
Yes.
This is for a company called All Green Environmental Solutions, who are based on the Central Coast. They've been a SolarQuotes client for quite a while. Excellent solution and professional company, knowledgeable salesperson. First question asked was, how long do you intend to stay here? Fairly sensible question.
Yep.
Followed by, what is your objective with solar? The quote was tailored to suit our needs and specified budget. He came out to inspect the roof, noted where the sun was, and ended up suggesting an end-phase microinverter system, which allowed 2 north-facing arrays and an array on the western side of the roof to catch the afternoon sun, which would ensure plenty of generation for a big air conditioner between 2 and 4. It gets pretty hot on the Central Coast between 2 and 4 in summer.
Yep.
So, site inspection, always a good idea, because you're more likely to get what you want. They ended up with end-phase, 8 kilowatts, I think, for about $8,000. Which is pretty good for an end-phase system.
Yeah, but end-phase
and Trina panels.
Yep. Nothing wrong with him. Yeah.
Someone very happy there with All Green Environmental.
Yeah. Good.
All right, moving on.
Oh.
Last post of the day. Speaking of solar panels, Ryzen's Jäger solar panels available in Australia.
Jäger? Isn't that Jäger?
Jäger. I don't know, my German's a bit rusty.
I don't know. Well, my German's a bit rusty too, because the 28th Jäger division was the only one the Dutch didn't have to put up with. It's the mountain division, you see.
I see.
I mean, I know the Dutch are tall, but didn't need a mountain division there. Anyway, Jäger is German for hunter, which I don't really see the connection between hunting and solar panels. They're hunting for solar photons, maybe.
The MPPT hunts
For
the maximum power point.
Yeah, okay.
So it should be the inverter that's called the Jäger.
Good point. Yeah, that makes more sense. Do you think they just sort of went for a word that they thought sounded good? Maybe even a bit Germanish?
I don't know who suggested.
Teutonic?
Yeah. Look, I don't know about. I haven't seen these panels. Ryzen is a reputable tier 1 manufacturer, but this is a terrible name for a Chinese solar panel in Australia.
Yes.
The person that came up with it, I hope you didn't pay too much money for that name, because
I don't think they pay people money for this. Not when they come up with bad names like this.
the history of Chinese solar panels with German-sounding names in Australia is not a good one. Like some of the dodgiest solar panels that have been sold in this country, in my opinion, are the Chinese ones with the German-sounding names. That they want the German sheen of German engineering.
Quality.
And they're often really very, very cheap panels that many have had a lot of problems and been replaced. So
yes,
Chinese solar companies, cultural thing about Australia, you're doing more harm than good giving a German name to your Chinese panels.
Just pretend that Jäger is Chinese. You'll probably sell more. Yeah, rename a town Jäger. Like, here's some money. Call your town Jäger, and we'll go with that.
Good idea. Anything else you want to say, or can I get a paracetamol?
You can get paracetamol. Maybe I should just rub the 2 dots off the front, off the top of that letter. And then, they can say it's Jaguar, but they spelled it wrong. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Yes, go get some paracetamol.
Thanks.
You're looking under the weather.
I'm off.